Hello, one and all present here. This is Amit Kumar Singh. Welcome back to my session on reminder theorem. I hope you are enjoying my sessions till now. I have made lot of videos. I have made videos on Vedic maths. I hope you learned a lot from Vedic maths. Then I have made videos on clocks and calendars, which is very important topic for reasoning section. I have developed content for divisibility rule of digits of numbers, which will definitely will be the foundation step for you whenever you prepare for any competitive exam. I hope you are going through all my videos and you are learning a lot. So with that confidence in my mind and I believing that you people are sitting with notebook and pen with you and you are gonna sit here to learn something. This is Amit Kumar Singh once again and welcome you to my session on reminder theorem. So when we talk about reminder is a word we remember these term reminder from our childhood, from the time when we are working on mathematics. We have seen this term like reminder, quotient, divisor, dividend, all very basic things. We know about dividend. We know about dividend. We know about quotient. We know about reminder. We know about all divisors. Everything. We are very confident about everything. Probably I still remember in 10th standard CBSE when I was studying the first chapter called real number. I was going through Euclid lemma. That time also I was very like, oh my god, the same thing I'm studying from childhood. Why God again the same thing is being taught to me. And again when I start preparing for CAT exam, again I saw the same chapter called numbers and so many books, Nishchit Sinha, Arun Sharma, you talk about R.S. Agrawal, so many books I have gone through, and I was trying hard to make myself good with numbers. Although we are familiar with this topic like number from childhood, but still when I see the problem on numbers of different competitive exams, the way the question is being presented, the way the question is being shoot on me, I feel, oh my God, what is going on? Let's figure out. Let's make this question of numbers into time, speed, and distance problem. I believe you all go through the same kind of dilemma, the same kind of confusion, the same kind of what you say phobia, or the same kind of what do you say that what you say when you see back deja vu when you see the problems on numbers. So again, giving you that kind of deja vu again. Today I'm going to talk you about the very important concept on numbers that is called reminder theorem. So when we talk about reminder, guys, so when we talk about reminder, so in reminder, basically we need to understand positive reminder. We need to talk about positive reminder and negative reminder. Okay, so positive reminder we know very well from our childhood. Whenever we solve the problem on maths, we know what is positive reminder is all about. But the time if I'm using the word called negative reminder, you would be getting confused. Like imagine if I divide a number 2 by 3. Suppose 2 is my dividend and 3 is my divisor. Okay, so what is a positive reminder? Positive reminder would be 2 only. We know that. Or otherwise, what I can do if I say 3 ones are, so if I take 3 ones are, then what I'll get? Then I'll get a reminder called -1. Okay, guys. So so when we solve the problem on reminder theorem, along with a reminder +1, there's a reminder -1 also, which is which will be very close to your heart if you have definitely solved the problems on reminder. So when we solve the problem on reminders, what we try to do, we try to figure out by hook or crook, by doing permutation or combination, whatever we try to do, we try to see if we can get a positive reminder or we can get a negative reminder, something like that. Something like that. Suppose suppose if I give you this number 13793 to the power 13793. Okay, so if I ask you, okay, divide this number by 2. Okay, tell me the remainder. Okay, divide this number by 2, tell me the remainder. Okay. So what primarily you can do here? So what primarily I can do? I hope you are understanding the power and all, a to the power x. So if you see a number called a to the power x, so I hope you are understanding. You're writing a how many times? You're writing a x times. So this is basically a to the power x. So here if you see this number and the power is 13793. So if your power is 13793, it means that It basically means that you are writing that number 13793 to the 13793 to the power 13793 times. Okay, and then you are trying to find the remainder. Okay, so imagine if this 13793, if I simply divide it by 2, so probably what remainder I'll get. So so 13. So probably if I'm dividing by 2, 13. So 6 2s are 12, 17. Then 8 2s are 16. One remainder 19. 113. So 113. Then you get 12. So you know that the remainder would be one only. So if you do anything, so you know that any number you divide like this, you're gonna get the remainder one only. If this number 13793, if this is your number 13793, if you divide it by 2, what will happen? You know that the number is 17. You know that this will go by 18. This will be 19. So you know that what is gonna happen. So this will be 9. This is 18. 130. This is 6. So you know that your reminder anyway, if you're dividing any number by 2, if that number is an even number, that will be divisible by 2. If that number is odd number, that will give you reminder of 1. So if it doesn't matter how big is this number, it doesn't matter what is that power of that number. So imagine if you write this number 13793 into 13793 into 13793. This number, if you're writing till 13793, if you're dividing this number by 2, every time what you are getting, every time you are getting a reminder 1. So reminder 1, you are getting 13793 times. Doesn't matter, 1 to the power anything will give you 1 only. So what will the reminder here, guys? The reminder for this problem would be simple, 1 only. So don't get confused when you see big numbers and all. The questions would be very easy, not at all something you need to use lot of your brain and all. So imagine if your divisor is 10, so the examiner is expecting you to tell you the unit digit. So imagine in place of 2, imagine if the same number 13793, imagine in place of 2, if I've written a divisor called 10. So what the examiner is expecting you, examiner is expecting you to tell you the unit digit. They are expecting you to tell the unit digit. Everyone, I believe, by this time you know how to find the unit digit of the number. So how to find the unit digit of the number, and you see that if you see here this number is ending with 3. If you see here this number is ending with 3, and you know that for finding the unit digit of the number, if a number is ending with 3, you know that what you will do, you will see the power cycle of 3. Okay, so you just need to break the power, the multiple of 4, or you can break the power the multiple of 4, or simply if you have seen my video on unit digit, if you have seen my video on divisibility, you know that to divide the number by 4 is better to see the last 2 digit of the number, because that determines the divisibility rule of 4. If you see the last 2 digit of the number, that is 93. 93, if you divide by 4, you will get a remainder 1. So what is 3 to the power 1? So what is 3 to the power 1? 3 to the power 1 is 3. The remainder for this, if you divide by 10, your remainder would be 3. In case if they're asking you, in case in the problem, if they're given you 100, in case in this problem, if they're given you 100, so what they are expecting you, they're expecting you to find the last 2 digit of the number. Okay, so then they're expecting you to find the last 2 digit of the number. So how will you find the last 2 digit of number? I hope you know that how to find the last 3 digit of the number. If this number is 13793 to the power 13793, if you divide this number by 100, what they're expecting you to find the last 2 digit of the number. Okay, so how to find the last 2 digit of the number for this? So here so simply focus on 13793 to the power 13793. How to find the last 2 digit of the number? So that you can ignore these digits. These digits won't be significant for you. What is important for the last 2 digit? Only the 10th place and the number. So 93 to the power 13793. Okay, now you know that 93, it is an odd number. So you'll use the property of odd number for finding the last 3 digit of the number, last 2 digit of the number, because you're dividing by 100. If you divide by 1000, you have to find the last 3 digits. Can you write this number as 93 to the power 4? Okay, so if you write this number to the power 93 to the power 4, so divide this power by 4. So 4 3s are 12. So 1 carry 17, 4 4s are 16, 19. 19 means 4s are 33, 33 means 8s are into 93. Okay, so if you divide it by 4, you will get a remainder called 1. So 3448 into 4 plus 1 will be 13793. Okay, so 12 is 17. 17 means 17 means 4s are 19. 19 means 4s are 33. 33 is 8s are. Okay, now what is 93 to the power 4? I don't know what is 93 to the power 4, but I know 93 to the power 2. So what I can do, I can write this number as 93 to the power 2 into 93 to the power 2 to the power 3448 into 93. Okay, what is 93 to the power 2? 93 to the power 2, 93 square is 8649. Okay, doesn't matter. So doesn't matter what is the other digit. I hope everyone understand this, that the k square and 50 minus k square, 50 plus k square, 100 minus k square, 100 plus k square, all will end with the last two digit of the k square. All will end with the last two digit of k square. So what is the k here? 93 I can write 100 minus 7. So 100 minus 7 means what is 7 square? What is 7 square? 49. So it will end with 49. So this is nothing but 49 square to the power 3448 into 93. Okay, what is 49 square? 49 square is 2401. So you can write this as 01, last two digit. Just focus on last two digit to the power 3448 into 93. Now 1 to the power any number will be 1 only. So what is the last two digit of this number? Last two digit would be 93. So if you divide this number by 100, if you divide this number by 100, what is your remainder? The remainder would be 93 only. So the idea, I hope you are understanding uh, the the idea. So the remainder theorem, the concept of remainder theorem, whatever we have learned, how to find the unit digit of the number, how to find the last two digit of the number, all you can apply here when you are solving the problem on remainder theorem. So the problem on remainder theorem are not at all difficult. You can easily solve the problem. Now, the very important thing when you are solving the problem on remainder theorem, the very important thing what you have to learn the Euler theorem. So Euler theorem. So remainder theorem, you have to learn. Whenever you get a problem, you can easily solve the problem by Euler theorem. So in remainder theorem, Euler theorem is very important to solve the problem. So whenever you get right any problem, you see any problem, you're getting any kind of problem, you can easily solve it with the application of Euler theorem. So suppose 70 to the 77 to the power 11113 divide by 17. Okay, what is the remainder? If I ask you this problem, what is the remainder? So if you want, you can simplify this number, divide 77 by 17, find the remainder. So 17 threes are 51, 17 fours are 68. So you can write the same number. So 68, 17 fours are 68. So this 77 minus 68 is 9. So if you divide 77 by 17, how much you will get? 9. So 9 to the power 1333 divide by 70. You can simplify this number like this way. I hope you're understanding, because think this. So 77 is repeated to 11333 times. Okay. Now you are dividing this number by 17. Where your dividend is 9 to the power 1333, and you're dividing it by 17. You know that 17 is a prime number. So you know that what would be the quotient number. What would be the quotient number of 17? The quotient number of 17 would be 16 only. I hope everyone. What do you mean by quotient number? How we work on Euler theorem? So Euler theorem, we work in such a way, like suppose you are dividing a number a by a number called b. Suppose you're dividing a number a by b, and it has some power. Okay, now in order to work on Euler theorem, a and b should be co-prime to each other. Okay, the first and very important thing, The A and B, the dividend and divisor, they should be the co-prime to each other. Co-prime means they should have HCF of 1. Okay, now the next thing, once if they are co-prime to each other, you can see here 9 and 17. What is the HCF of 9 and 17? That would be 1 only. So once you got to know that they are co-prime to each other, then what you need to do, find the Totient number of divisor. So the Totient number of divisor means you just need to find how many numbers less than 17 are co-prime to 17. You know that because 17 is a prime number, every number which is less than 17 are co-prime to 17. So the Totient number of 17 would be 16. Okay, so the Totient number of every prime number, if the prime number is p, then the Totient number of every prime number would be p minus 1. Okay, so what Euler theorem says that if A and B are co-prime to each other, and the Totient number of B is suppose theta, suppose the symbol is theta, then it means that it will give you a remainder called 1. It means that it will give you a remainder called 1. Simple. So here the proof of this is not the scope of preparation of the exam. So here 9 divided by 16. So take the power 16. 9 divided by 17, the power would be 16. Why? The Totient number of 17 is 16. Okay, now you can write this in this form. So 1333 divided by 16 if you do. So 16 nines is 144. 16 eights is 128. So 128, that would be 16 eights are 128. So 128, it would be 53. 53 means 16 threes is 48. 48 means 53 means 5. 48 plus 5, 53. So into 9 to the power 5. Okay. So you can break 133 in this way. So let me check. 16 threes are 48, 16 eights are 128. This is 8 2 1328. 1328 plus 5 is 1333. Okay, now once you understood, so what I'm telling you, if you apply Euler theorem, you have to understand that if your divisor and dividend are co-prime to each other, you have to find the Totient number of your divisor. So once you find the Totient number of your divisor, so always remember that you dividend to the power of the Totient number. Once you divide by the divisor, it will always give you a remainder of 1. So now, so 9 to the power 16, when you divide by 17, will give you a remainder 1. So 9 to the power 16, any multiple of you will take, it will give you a remainder 1 value, because 1 to the power anything will give you 1 value. And then into 9 to the power 5. So what left with you? Now this giving you a remainder of 1. So 1 into 9 to the power 5 divided by 17. Okay. So now how to do this? 9 to the power 5 is how much? I don't know. How much 9 to the power 5? Okay. So how can I find the remainder of this? Okay. How can I find the remainder of this? Okay. Let's do this. So what is 9 to the power 1? 9 to the power 1 is 9. Okay. So if you did divide 9 by 17, the remainder is 9. 9 to the power 2 is how much? 81. 9 to the power 2 is 81. Now 81, if you divide by 17, so that you'll give you a reminder called minus 4, because 17 5 is 85. So minus 4 means what? 13 plus 4, 17. It will give you a reminder called 13. And 9 to the power 3. 9 to the power 3. 9 to the power 3 will be what? See, 9 to the power 3, don't waste your time. 9 to the power 3 is 729. Don't waste your time in finding 729 divided by 17 is how much reminder and all. Oh my god, please don't do all that. Okay, what do you simply do? You know that this is 9 to the power 1. This is 9 to the power 2. It is giving you reminder 9. It is giving you reminder called 13. What is 13 nines are? 117. So 117. Okay. So now 117 means what? 117 means what? You know that 17 7 is 119. So it will give you reminder minus 2. Minus 2 means what? 15 reminder. Okay, this is 729. If you want, we can do that. So 729. If you divide by 17, 17 4s are 68. So you're getting 49. 49 means 2s are 34. You're getting a reminder called 15. Simple. Now, if I ask you 9 to the power 4, 9 to the power 4 is how much? 81 square. That is 6561. So don't do anything. You know 9 to the power 3. 9 to the power 3 is how much? 15. Okay, what is 9 to the power 1? 9. 15 nines is how much? 135. So divide 135. Divide 135 59 divide 135 by 7. 135 by 17. Sorry, 135 by 17. Now, what is 17 sevens are 119. 17 sevens are is 119. What is 17 eights are? What is 17 eights are? 17. What is 17 eights are? So 17 eights is 136. So it is giving you reminder card minus 1. Minus 1 means what? Minus 1 means 16 reminder. Okay, if I take 9 to the power 1, better you can write minus 1 also. 9 to the power 5, what is 9 to the power 5? I don't know. Okay, but what 9 to the power 5, can I say 9 to the power 4 into 9 to the power 1? That is minus 1 into 9, minus 9. Minus 9 means what? Minus 9 means what? 17 minus 9 is how much? 17 minus 9 is 8. Your reminder would be 8. That's it. So your reminder here in this problem, for this problem, your reminder would be 8. Simple. I hope you understood the concept. So when we talked about Euler theorem, so what we basically do in Euler theorem, understand something. I'll take composite number. I don't think prime number you'll understand properly. Maybe some number 8943 to the power 728 something, divide by what number should I take? Divide by suppose something should I take 15 or 2 square 14. Okay, let's take 12. Okay, if you divide it by 12, okay, let's take a number like 12. Okay, let's divide it by 12. What is the remainder? So what you know, see what you know, what is 12? What is 12? 12 is 2 squared into 3. What is 12? 12 is 2 squared into 3. So what is the quotient number of 12? So the quotient number of 12 would be 12 into 1 minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus 1 by 3. Okay, so what is the quotient number of 12? 12 into 1 by 2 into 2 by 3. Okay, so what is the quotient number of 12 you'll get? You'll get 4. So, sir, what you are doing? So, what is the quotient number and all? So, in quotient number of 12 is 4. So, what that mean? It means you have to find all the numbers less than 12 which are co-prime to 12. So, what are those numbers? So, co-prime to 12 because 12 is the even number. So, none of the even number can be co-prime to 12. Okay. So, how many numbers are co-prime to 12? 1, 5. Okay. Then 7. Okay. Then 11. These are the four numbers. Either manually you do that or remember this way. So if you express the number, so if you express a number like this, a to the power p into b to the power q into c to the power r or d to the power s. So here I'm not going to teach you finding the number of factors and all. Okay. So what is the quotient number of this? So the quotient number of this would be n, the n into 1 minus 1 by a, here the power doesn't matter, into 1 minus 1 by b into 1 minus 1 by c into 1 minus 1 by d, like this. Okay, so the quotient number of 12 is 4. So what that mean? That means 8943 to the power 4. If you divide it by 12, you will get a remainder 1. Okay, now if you see this number, this is 1 this is 1 this is 32. 32 means 8 then 2 so it's completely divisible. It is completely divisible by 4. Okay, so it's a power factor of 4. So what reminder it will give you? It will give you reminder of 1 only. Okay, it will give you reminder of 1 only. Okay, so simple problem. So I hope you understood the concept of Euler. So the Euler theorem is very important. Now, going further on Euler theorem, So as you understood the Euler theorem, now next thing to understand is the Fermat-Little theorem. So the next theorem to understand is the Fermat-Little theorem. So what is Fermat-Little theorem? Fermat-Little theorem says that if you divide any dividend by a divisor, the divisor is prime number. So you know that if you divide any number by the prime number, then the quotient number of that prime number would be p minus 1. So this will give you a reminder hull 1. So already whatever those who understand Euler theorem, they can understand this very well. So this is a Fermat-Little theorem. Okay, simple. Now there's some books also write it like this. So this a to the power p by p means where p is your prime number. So that will give you a reminder called a. Simple thing. Those who understand this, they can easily understand this. Okay, so a to the power p, you can write a to the power p as a to the power p minus 1 into a. Okay, so where p is your prime number, where p is the prime number. What are the properties of prime number? I hope you remember the properties of prime number, that every prime number except 2 and 3, when they are divided by 6, they will either give you reminder called +1 or -1. Okay, so everyone understand the properties of prime. What are prime number? There are 25 prime numbers are there from 1 to 100. There are 21 prime numbers are there from 100 to 200. Okay, everyone understand. The largest 3-digit prime number is 997. The smallest 4-digit prime number is 1009. All this you should have in your mind, that will serve the objective. So anyone have any doubt, you can easily understand. So whatever the Fermat-Little theorem is nothing but it's an extension of, or it's a derivation of Euler theorem. Okay, now going further, now let's talk about Wilson theorem. Now let's talk about Wilson theorem. So once you understand the Fermat-Little theorem, let's talk about Wilson theorem. So Wilson theorem is again it's not something very difficult. It's the same thing whatever we have studied till now. So the Wilson theorem is like not so common also. So you just need to keep Wilson theorem in mind. So remember, if this p is your prime number, so p minus 1 factorial divide by p will give you reminder called p minus 1. This is the Wilson theorem. Means suppose take a prime number, maybe suppose a prime number is 7. So if I divide 6 factorial by 7, then my remainder will be 6. If you want to prove, you can prove 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, you want divided by 7. Or simple, what is 6 factorial? Why I am doing all that? What is 6 factorial? 720. 720 if you divide by 7. 720 if you divide by 7. So how much? 7 1 just 7, then 20. So 20 if you divide, you'll get the remainder called 6. Okay, so hope you understood this. Okay, now so this is called Wilson theorem. So this is called Wilson theorem, and one more part of the Wilson theorem is like p minus 2 factorial divided by p, you will get a remainder called 1. P minus 2 factorial, if you divide it by p, you will get a remainder called 1. So like, so here if your prime number is 7, so if you take p minus 2 means 5 factorial. So 5 factorial by 7, it will give you remainder called 1 only. Okay, so hope you understood. Now going, maybe suppose if 10 factorial by 11, if you I want to prove it, so I want to find 10 factorial by 11. I want to see the derivation. Okay, let's see the derivation. Let's prove this fact. One minute. Okay, so let me find the value. So imagine if I'm using MS Excel. Okay, leave it. Otherwise, simply coming back here. So 1 minute. Okay, so what is the 10 factorial value if I want to do? So 10 factorial value, 10 factorial is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. This I'll divide by 11. So what is my remainder? So if I'm dividing by 11, so I have to find the value of this. So I have to find the value of this. So if I divide this by 11, what is the remainder I should get? So what is the remainder I should get? So you can so as per what we have learned. So if 10 factorial should, if you divide by 11, what remainder you should get? You should get a remainder called 10. It means, what that mean? That means, it means that this number should be divisible by 11. Okay. So you want to you really want to multiply and then check? No, let's figure out something else. Let's figure out something else. Is this number divisible by 11 or something? Let's figure out something this. So 9 8s are 72. So 9 8s are, if you want to multiply, you can figure out by other way. So 9 8s are 72. 72, if you divide by 11, you get a remainder called 6. Okay, you get a remainder called 6. Okay, now what is 7 factorial? 7 factorial, what is 7 factorial? That is 5040. So 5040, if you divide by 11, what is the remainder? This is 4s are 44. So this is 64. 64 means 5s are 55. 55 means 90. Means 8s are, that will give you remainder called 2. So this is giving you a remainder called 2. This is giving you a reminder called 2. Now the 6 2s are 12. 12 divided by 11. 6 2s is 12. This is 7 factorial. No? This is 7 factorial. 7 factorial, if you divide by 11. 7 factorial is 5040. Okay, 5 factorial is 120. 6 factorial is 720. 7 factorial is 5040. 8 factorial would be 40320. So if you want to check, you can check by like this. So 6 2s is 12. 12 into 10 is 120. Okay, so you can divide by 11. So 6 2s are 12. 12, if you divide by 11, how much you are getting? 12, if you divide by 11, how much you will get? So that you will get a remainder 1. Okay, so 1 into 10, what you will get the remainder? You will get a remainder called 10 only. Okay, so see, this number is very easy number. So you do this, you'll get the same answer. So it won't be a problem for you to solve it. So you can do very easily. You can do it very easily. Okay, so you can do very easily. It doesn't matter. So you take the number, you divide it by like this way. You're gonna get the same answer. You don't have to worry on looking at the numbers. You don't have to look. You don't have to worry on looking at the number. So you can prove it like that way. So other way, 10 factorial is 3628800. If you divide this number, by 11. So 3628800. If you divide by 11, you'll get 33. That is 32. This is 2za. This is 2za. You'll get 22. This is 10. 108. 108 means 9za. 108 means 9za. So 108, 11 9s are 99, 11 10s are 1110. So this you take 9s are, you'll get 98. So you'll get 98. Then you take 8s are, you'll get 88. So you'll get 100. You'll get 100. So you'll take 99. Then 9s are, you'll get 10. So the final remainder is 10. So to understand this is very easy. So 10 factorial, if I divide by 11, what would be your remainder? Your remainder would be 10. So if you take 9 factorial, divide by 11, the remainder will be 1. You can prove it. So 9 factorial is 3680000. If you divide, you will get a remainder 1. Here remove 1 0, you get the remainder 1. Okay, simple concept. So this is called Wilson theorem. So what we have learned, we have learned about Euler theorem. We have learned about Fermat-Little theorem. We have learned about Wilson theorem. Now let's talk about Chinese remainder theorem. Chinese remainder theorem. Chinese remainder theorem is very easy. Let's talk about Chinese remainder theorem. The Chinese remainder theorem is very easy. So like Chinese remainder theorem we normally use when your divisor is very big. So So here your divisor is 77. So if you see your dividend is 2 to the power 100. This you're dividing by 77. So what we do in Chinese remainder theorem, we break our divisor. We break our divisor. Okay, so I'll break my divisor. So 77 I broke in two parts, 7 and 11. Okay, now what I will do, now I'll find the remainder. Now I'll find the remainder when 2 to the power 100 divided by 7. And then I'll find the remainder when 2 to the power 100 divided by 11. Okay, so and then I'll figure the remainder on that. So what I'll do now, I'll divide my exercise into two parts. Well, first I'll do 2 to the power 100 divided by 7. What is my remainder? I'll find 2 to the power 100 divided by 11. What is my remainder? Okay, so you can apply a Euler theorem. 7 is a prime number, so the quotient number of 7 would be 6. So you can write 2 to the power 6 by 7. So 16 6 is 96 into 2 to the power 4. So 2 to the power 6, if you divide by 7, you will get a remainder 1. So now 2 to the power 4 is what? 16. 16. Now 16 if you divide by 7, what is your remainder? Your remainder would be 2. Okay. Now same thing I'll do for 11. 11 again is a prime number. So what is the quotient number of 11? 10. So 2 to the power 10. If you divide by 11, what will be your remainder? Your remainder would be 1. So 2 to the power 10. So 1 to the power n number. What will be remainder? Your remainder will be 1. Okay. So now simple. So what you understood till now? So you understood that when my divisor was 7, my remainder is 2. When my divisor was 7, then my remainder is 2. Okay, and then when my divisor is 11, then my remainder is 1. So you just need to find this. Okay, so can I write this in this form? So let do this mathematical homework. Let's write this number as 11k plus 1 and divide this number by 7 and keep finding the value of k till the time you don't get the remainder called 2, because when you divide the number you should get a remainder called 2. Okay, let's start with the value of k. Let k is 0. If k is 0, then your number is 1. 1 divided by 7, remainder is 1. Okay, let's put k 1. If k is 1, then your number is 12. 12 divided by 7, remainder is 5. Let's put k as 2. K is 2 means 23. Your number is 23. 23 divided by 7, your remainder is 2. Means your work is done. What is your number? Your number is 23. So what is the remainder you will get here? So the remainder for this problem, is 23. This is the answer. Simple. Okay, let's do one more problem. Let's do one more problem. Like suppose your problem is like this. Okay, 11 to the power 100 divided by 105. What is your remainder? Okay, so can I break 105 as 105 means what? 5 into 21 into, I can break this as 3 into 5 into 7. Can I do this? 35 3 is 105. Okay, okay, fine. So I can break this number as 3 into 5 into 7. So I can write this as 11 to the power 100 divided by 105. So that is nothing but 11 to the power 100 divided by 3 into 5 into 7. Okay, so now I'll separate my work into three parts. So 11 divided to the power 100 divided by 3. Tell me the remainder. Now 11 to the power 100 divided by 5. Tell me the remainder. Now 11 to the power 100 divided by 7. Tell me the remainder. Let's do this exercise. So you know the quotient number of 3 would be 2. So 11 to the power 2 by 3. So this is 50. So your remainder would be 1 only. Very simple. Okay, I hope till now you understood this. Now the quotient number of 5 would be 4. This is a prime number. Divide by 5. So your remainder would be 1 only. So now here, in case of 7, the Totient number of 7 is 6. Okay, so this is to the power 6 into 11 to the power 4 divide by 7. Okay, now this part is 1. Now 11 to the power 4. What is 11 to the power 4? What is 11 to the power 4? Means 121 square. Okay, so 11. Can I write 11 as, if you divide 11 by 7, what remainder you will get? 7 1 just 7 means 4 remainder. So you means 4 to the power 4 by 7. Okay, 4 to the power 4 by 7. Okay, so 4 to the power 4. So 4 to the power 1 is 4. 4 to the power, what is 4 to the power 4? Is 256. No? 4 to the power 4 is what? 256. 16 square, 256. 256. If you divide by 7, what is the 7 3s are 21. So you'll get 46. 7 6 are 42. You'll get a remainder called 4. Okay, so 4 to the power 4. 4 to the power 4 is 256. So 256, if you divide by 7, 7 3s are 21. So this is 46, 7 6 are 42. You get a remainder called 4. So means what? So when you divide it by 3, you get a remainder 1. When you divide it by 5, you get a remainder 1. But when you're dividing by 7, when you're dividing by 7, you're getting a remainder called 4. You have to find that number. Okay, let's use your brain. Let's think. So when your divisor is, when your divisor is 3, your remainder is 1. When your divisor is 5, your remainder is 1. When your divisor is 7, your remainder is 4. Okay. Okay. So let's write the number as 7k plus 4. Let's write the number as 7k plus 4. Now start putting the value of k. We'll stop when we'll get a remainder 1 with 3 and 5. So let k is 0. If k is 0, then the number is 4. 4 divided by 3 is 1. But 4 divided by 5 is 4. So it's not giving a remainder 1 in both 3 and 5. Okay. Now, so now k value 1. K value 1 if I put, then the number is 11. 11 divided by 3 is what? 2. Remainder 2. Now with 5 it will give 1. So also the k1 does not work. Let's put k2. If k is 2, then your number is k2, means k is 2, means your number is 18. 18 divided by 3 is remainder 0. Not possible only. Okay, put k3. If you put k3, then your number is 25. Then it's not giving a remainder 1 with 5. Okay, leave it. So put K4. If you put K4, your number is 32. So 32 also will not give a remainder 1 with 5. Okay, leave it. So you put K5. If you put K5, your number becomes 39. 39 is divisible by 3. It's not giving remainder 1. Leave it. So put K6. If you put K6, your number is 46. 46 na 7 6 are 42. 46. 46. 46 is giving you remainder 1 with both 3 and 5. So 46, if you put k is equal to 6, if you put k equal to 6, so 7 6 are 42. 42 plus 4, 46. 46 is when you divide by 3. So you're getting a remainder 1. 15 3s are 45. You're getting a remainder 1. 46 when you're dividing by 5, you're getting a remainder 1. So what is the remainder here? What is your remainder here? In this problem, what is your remainder here? 46. Na? You get an answer called 46. So this is a number. So your remainder in this problem is 46. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session, guys. So what we have done in remainder theorem in this session, we have studied about Euler theorem, we have studied about Fermat-Little theorem, we have studied about Wilson theorem, we have studied about Chinese remainder theorem. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. So I believe that this was learning output for you. Remainder theorem is very important concept when you talk about any competitive exam. Lot of questions in exam come from remainder theorem. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you everyone. God bless you.